Hi, this is Jeff Cohen, and I'm on today with Cynthia Stine, author of the book Suspension Prevention. Cynthia, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
I wanted to ask a couple questions today about suspension, prevention, and Amazon, and get your response so we can share with our audience. So let's just get started.
Okay.
Many people out there really believe that Amazon is suspending more accounts. I'm curious if you believe that that's true, and if it is, why do you believe that trend is happening?
Absolutely is true. And the reason why it's happening is because Amazon changed their algorithm last year for product quality issues. So, whereas it used to track sellers primarily by performance metrics, now they're also looking at product quality metrics. And the thing is, they forgot to tell the third-party sellers that they were doing this, and they didn't give us any new metrics to work with. And so a lot of sellers have been caught by surprise and suspended, not even realizing that anything was wrong.
Can you give me a quick example of a product quality issue versus an account quality issue?
Sure. So like a performance metric might be something like late shipments or sending the wrong item or performance-oriented things like that. Product quality is more about they might say the product is used, sold as new, or maybe it's defective, or it might be counterfeit or inauthentic. So these are things that are about the product versus how the product gets to the customer.
Gotcha. Which activities are most likely to get somebody in trouble?
Well, I kind of look at I guess the biggest activity that will get you in trouble is not paying attention to what's happening in your account because really what they're doing is they're going after sources of imperfect product. So they're going after people who drop ship, they're going after people who use liquidators, and closeouts and deep discounts, and they're going after people who do retail arbitrage and online arbitrage. And not because any of those activities are forbidden or disallowed on Amazon, but because they tend to produce more imperfect products that sellers are sending in. So, like if you buy from a liquidator, a lot of times that product is old, it may have shelf wear, it may be dirty, dusty, faded, and yet people are still sending it in as new, and then Amazon's buyers are mad.
Gotcha. So Amazon isn't necessarily saying the world of retail arbitrage and liquidation is over. They just really want those sellers to identify their products properly.
Yeah, and to make sure that they're really in gift-ready condition. So what may happen is you may get a shipment of stuff from your liquidator, and some of it's great, right? Perfect, shrink wrapped, everything. But some of the rest of it may not be, and that should be sold as used instead of new, or not sold at all. I mean, depending on what category it's in, obviously you can't sell used food or clothing, right? But that's what they're saying is, look, we understand that sometimes product is imperfect, and in that case, you should not be selling it as new. So sellers who understand that and who are willing to really inspect and pick through their inventory and pick out the best for new and get rid of the rest in some other way, those are fine. They can continue to do retail arbitrage and liquidation and all of that. And the same with drop shippers. Amazon prefers if you have the inventory in-house, that you actually have it. But if you have a really good dropship partner who is reliable, consistent, and produces good product, they don't have a problem with you. They only have a problem when product is delivered late, when you have to cancel orders because your dropshipper doesn't have any more, or when the product is delivered in crappy condition to the buyer.
Great. So Amazon provides me a ton of reports, and you said that some of the stuff's not available on reports. What is available on reports, and which report should I be paying the most attention to?
Okay, so they give us a dashboard for performance metrics, right? So they'll tell you, here's your metrics for your order defect rate. Here's your metrics for your negative feedback. But they won't give you metrics for the product quality issues. And so you have to hunt and find, you have to hunt through reports to find what's going on. And so one of the most important reports that I tell people to download is the imperfect orders report, and you will not find that with the other reports. You're going to find it on the same page where you're finding your performance metrics on the right-hand side, halfway down the page, and it's hidden. It's literally hidden underneath the little box where they show you your best performing and your worst performing. There would be a little link that says imperfect orders. I mean, it's insane. But that report is extremely helpful in identifying ASIN. Like I sort it by ASIN, and so it's really helpful in telling you, whoa, I'm getting a lot of problems with this particular product. I need to look into this. And then the other reports is I tell people to look at their returns. So they should look at their returns every week and to check their customer messages and, of course, their negative feedback, of course. And usually by doing those together, you get a good picture of potential product quality issues. And so if you start seeing the same reason for return on an item over and over again, then you think, okay, I need to do something about this and fix the problem.
Very cool. Very helpful. Thank you. I was curious. So you've written a book. It covers a lot of detail about what to do if you get suspended. But what are the basic tips that you provide or you can share with a seller to kind of help make sure they don't get suspended?
Right. Well, and that is the that's like part two of my book, Suspension Prevention, and I have 15 steps in there that sellers can take to kind of be proactive and preventative with their accounts. So if they can get their accounts cleaned up now and keep them that way, they're less likely to be suspended. And one of those steps is the reports that you and I just talked about, is to check them every week. Some of the other steps are all kinds of things like just really being, actually what it really boils down to for most of them is just being really proactive and aware of what's going on in their account. And like I said, so many of my clients, when they came to me, they just weren't aware. And once they were aware, they're like, okay, we got to do this. So I tell people, forewarned is forearmed. And if you know what Amazon's looking for, then you can track it.
Awesome. So that's prevention, but let's just say I wake up one day and I get that dreaded letter, and it's on a Saturday afternoon. Can I do something about it immediately? Do I need to wait till Monday? Can I do it on my own? Do I have to hire a specialist like yourself? And if I am looking for a specialist, what should I be looking for?
Okay, well, that's a lot of questions. Basically, if you're suspended on a Saturday and you want to hire someone like me, it's going to cost you more, but you can. We did 3 expedites this weekend, so just to give you an idea. And But some people are able to get themselves reinstated. And things that I tell people, themselves, I tell them is when you look at what Amazon has said is the problem, take responsibility for it, fix the problem, and then proactively tell them how you're going to make sure it doesn't happen again in the future. Because that's what Amazon wants to know. Like, they understand you're going to fix today's problem, but how do you make sure it never happens again? And so that's a piece that a lot of people miss in their plans when they submit them to Amazon. The other thing is a lot of people are asked for invoices, and sometimes they don't submit good invoices or they even make them up. And so that is a no-no. And then lastly, I would just tell people if you're going to do it yourself, then really have someone else look at it. Even, it doesn't have to be me. It can just be a fellow seller, but someone who's not emotionally involved. Because some of the mistakes that my clients make in their own appeals is they're very emotional. They spend a lot of time telling Amazon what a great seller they are and how long they've been selling and how much business they do on the platform. And all of that's irrelevant because A, Amazon already knows that, and B, the person looking at the appeal is a guy in India. He really doesn't care. And so they just want you to answer the questions. They just want to check, 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 check. And so that's the kind of advice I give someone who's going to do it themselves. And obviously, this is what I do for a living, and so people can hire me. And my company, Online Sales Step by Step, we've helped over 200 sellers get reinstated. And we also have services for suspended ASINs and other things that might come up on an account, not just reinstatement. And yeah, we're Amazon's keeping us pretty busy.
Yeah, I know it's been a big talk. I appreciate you sharing with our audience some of the tips and some of the suggestions. Cynthia has written a book called Suspension Prevention. It does provide you a lot of details on what to do if you get suspended, and as she mentioned, tips to keep yourself from being suspended. And if you go ahead and comment in the comments below, we will select three winners from the comments to get a free copy of the book. Seller Labs will be providing that to you, and we'll ask Cynthia to sign it when she sends it to you. And if you
Sure.
have any questions, go ahead and post them below, and Cynthia will respond. Thanks, and
Yep.
appreciate you having us on today.
Okay. Thanks so much.